This is a solution video for Chemistry Paper 1 Set 2. You can download the soft copy from the description below, or you can always skip to the end of the video for the answer straight away. Which of the following statement is correct? A filtrate is a substance that remains on the filter paper after filtration. No, this is wrong. It should be residue. B. A saturated solution has the maximum amount of solvent dissolved in a solute. No. This and this is this should swap around. A solution is a compound produced when a solute reacts with a solvent. This one seems okay. Maybe 50-50 for now. A substance, option D, a substance that remains in a heated flask after distillation is called a residue. This one, actually 50-50, let me see. So it's either C or D. A and B definitely are wrong. Okay, I think this one most likely should be wrong, because it shouldn't be called a residue, it should be considered impurities. Okay, so I'm more leaning towards option C. Question 2. The result of a paper chromatography experiments are shown. X is an equal solution of a sort of group 1 element. Okay, and then Y is an equal solution of a transition element, sort of a transition element. Okay, so important thing is this one, it will be colorless, but this will be colored. So let's look at the option. Which of the following is correct? So the larger RF value means you will travel further, so it will definitely be Y. And then require a locating agent. So the one that require locating agent will be X because he's colorless. So a locating agent will turn a spot from colorless to colored. Okay, so it will be X. So answer will be C. Okay. So this whole question will be under chromatography, of course. Moving on, question 3. What changes do the particles move further apart? Okay, so move further apart. So when a gas is heated from 0 to 25, the temperature will increase. So kinetic energy will increase as well. So they'll move further apart. Seems true. Pressure is applied to a gas at constant temperature. So if your pressure increase, we will assume the volume will decrease. So they'll be closer. Okay, the particles will be closer, so answer will be wrong for this. Steam condenses to form water. So from a gaseous state to liquid state, the particles, the molecules of the particles will actually come closer. So this is wrong as well. Water evaporate at room temperature. When you evaporate, you are going from liquid to gas. Okay, so they will go further apart. So it's correct. So answer is 1 and 4. So answer is B. Moving on. Question 4. So you have two compounds. So most important is what? Both compound has a simple molecular structure. Okay. So most likely they are made out of non-metals. Yeah, it's true. Okay, non-metals. So H2S and PCl3. So low melting, low boiling. Okay. Both liquid are placed close together inside a large container at a temperature of 90 degrees Celsius. Okay, so one bottle contains 1 gram of this, the other contains 1 gram of PCl3, so both are 1 gram. So a detector is placed at 2 meters apart away from the two bottles. Two bottles are open at the same time, so they are open at the same time. So which one is correct? So this one most likely is under diffusion, rate of diffusion. So a compound that reaches the detector first. So in order to figure out which one will diffuse faster, right? So you have to calculate the MR. Okay, calculate the MR. So if you look at our periodic table, this one will be 2 plus 32 will be 34, and PCl3 it will be 31 plus 3 times 35.5. Okay. So if you use your calculator, you will get around 137.5. So the lower the MR, when your MR decreases, your rate of diffusion will actually increase. Okay, so because you're lighter, so you'll move faster. Okay, so who will reach the detector faster? So it will be H2S. Okay, because there's a lower MR. Reason is because yes, lower MR. Okay, so answer will be B. So in this case, I think the 90 degrees is not really useful, and the 1 gram in this case, they are not really important. Okay, more important is the MR. Okay, MR. Question 5. Which of the following is correct? So this one should be under atomic structure, because it's looking at the number of proton, neutrons, electrons. Okay, so if you want to see carefully this one, you can just write down 19 protons, 19 electrons. If you minus away 40 minus 19, you get 21 neutrons. This one is 19 protons, 19 electrons. If you minus away, it will be 20 neutrons. This one, 20 protons, 20 electrons, minus away 20 neutrons. So you compare. P and Q are the same element. P and Q same element seems correct because they have the same proton number. Okay, same proton number seems good. P and R are same element. Nope. Okay, because they have a different P, different proton. P has more proton than Q. P has more proton than Q. No, it should be the same. So it's wrong. R has more neutrons. R has 20 neutrons, and Q also have 20 neutrons. So they has more. No, it should be the same. So it's wrong as well. So answer is only A. Okay. Moving on, question 6. So you have a solidity of 3 solids, okay, in water and tetrachloromethane. So this is actually just an organic solvent. So you can imagine it's a certain kind of oil. Okay, so you have your sand, sodium chloride, and sulfur. Okay, so they have the table. Okay, so first thing first, which of the experimental procedures would be suitable for obtaining what? Pure. Okay, important. You want to get pure sand from this mixture. So you want to get rid of sodium chloride and you want to get rid of sulfur. Okay, so using the table, you want to obtain sand. So you have to add tetrachloromethane first. So you add tetrachloromethane, sulfur will be dissolved, and then later you have to add the water. So you have to get rid of sodium chloride first and then sulfur next. So you can add water first or tetrachloromethane. So I think it will be good is this one. You add water first, you stir, then you filter. After that, then you add tetrachloromethane. Because once you add water, when you filter, you left with sand and sulfur. Then when you add tetrachloromethane, right? Okay, so which one will dissolve? Sulfur. Okay, so sulfur will dissolve. So you just left with what? Sand. So this one is the first case. This is the second. Okay, then your sand will be your residue. Okay. Okay, just let me confirm the answer. Okay, C actually is wrong. Okay, because you want to obtain it as a residue form. So answer should be B. Okay, so when you add tetrachloromethane, okay, so let me redo this part again. When you add tetrachloromethane, okay, so sulfur will dissolve. So you only left with sand and NaCl. Okay, then after that you filter, so it's the residue. Okay, then at the residue, which is your sand and NaCl, you add water. Okay, you add water. So when you add water, sand and NaCl, which one will dissolve? Your NaCl. So in the end, you're left with sand. Alright, so then you just collect the residue, which is the sand, which is what you want actually. Okay, so just read carefully. So B and C are a bit similar, but just the opposite. So answer should be B. Okay, moving on. Question 7, take a look. So this one is under compound and mixture, element mixture compound. Okay, compound and mixture. So which pair of statement correctly describe the properties of a compound, iron 2 sulfide, and a mixture? Okay, so there are 5 differences, so will be useful for this question. So for compound, the ratio will always be 2:1. Sulfur 2:1. No, the ratio is 1:1. Okay, so this is wrong. Iron 3 sulfide has the same property. No, the compound will have a different property, so this is wrong as well. Iron and sulfur react together to give you iron 2 sulfide. This is good. And iron and sulfur mixed together with no energy change. Yes, so answer I think is only 3, so it's just C. Alright, moving on. An ion of formula X2 minus contains 10 electrons. So from here you can work backwards. If it has 10 electrons and it's X2 minus, so means the proton should be just 8 protons, because you take in 2 more electrons. Initially he has 8 electrons, you take in 2 more, become 10 electrons. Okay, then if the relative atomic mass of X is 16, okay, so you want to find the neutrons is 16 minus 8, so you end with 8 neutrons. Okay, so which one is present in the nucleus? Okay, so take note, nucleus only has what? Neutron and proton. Okay, so answer will be 8 proton, 8 neutron. So answer should be 8. Okay, so be careful. So this is under atomic structure as well. Question 9. Which one contains both ionic and covalent? Okay, so this is a classic question under chemical bonding. So NH3 and this barium chloride. Option C, again, methyl propanoate. So this is actually ester. So propanoate, so it's C3 C2H5 COOH, and then with your methyl, which is your methanol, which is CH3OH. So this, when they combine, when they react, you get C2H5 COOCH3. Okay, but all you need to know that is actually made out of covalent bonds. Okay, so it's for this. And the last one, potassium sulfate, so it's K2SO4. So if you see carefully, ionic and covalent, you need to have ionic and covalent as well. The answer is actually D. It's because if you see carefully, K plus and SO4, 2 minus. So what is going on here is between this and this, they are your ionic bonds. But inside sulfate, right? Okay, between sulfur and oxygen, it actually exists covalent bonds. So answer will be D. Okay, A, B, C, they are all B will be ionic, A will be covalent, C will be covalent as well. Okay, so in case you need to know. Moving on, question 10. Which substance has metallic bonding? Okay, so we're looking for metal. So we know that metal under solid and molten state both can conduct electricity. Properties of products formed when reaction with oxygen. So metal and oxygen, you will form Metal oxides. Let me see the options. Property of products. Okay, this one most likely is wrong. This one, because metal oxides, if you still remember your four oxides, okay, the oxide families, metal oxides are basic oxides. This means they can only react with acids. Okay, react with acids, or they can also form amphoteric oxides, which will react with both metal and sorry, not metal, acid and bases. React with acids and bases. Okay, so the best answer, I think it will be D. Okay, so question 10, answer will be D. Moving on. Question 11. Okay, so formula of nitride is Qn. So if you reverse cross, you will know that Q is actually 3 plus. Because N is group 15, so it's 3 minus. So you reverse cross, the ratio is 1:1. So Q will be 3 plus. So let me see which is the formula for this one. So now we use the new anion. Q is still 3 plus, but this will be C2O4 2 minus. So if you do your crossing, so you get Q2, just cross the number down, the plus minus do not touch it, okay? Then it will be C2O4 whole thing bracket 3, because the 3 bring down, okay? So answer will be B. Okay, so answer is B. Yep, that's all. Question 11, question 12. So you have two molecules, X2Y and ZY2. Okay, which of the thing represent a molecule of a compound formed between X and Z? So coming back, if you see carefully this structure, right? This structure looks like what? There's a double bond here. Okay, this is a double bond. This is a double bond. So this one actually is like CO2. Okay, so you need to know the black circle is actually carbon, the shaded circle is actually oxygen. Then this one looks like what? Your classic H2O. Okay, so the white circle is actually hydrogen, the shaded circle is oxygen, and then the black circle is actually carbon. So between Z and X, okay, so your X will be hydrogen, your Z will be carbon. So together they will form methane. Okay, so you're looking for methane. Okay, one carbon, one black carbon, okay, and then 4 small hydrogen. Okay, so take note, it's not this one. Okay, don't get confused. So answer will be B. Okay, so answer is B for question 12. Moving on, question 13. So they give you some physical property of 4 substance PQRS. Okay, so and so forth. Which of following is correct? Okay, let's look at the table. Okay, so important is look at substance S is good conductor in solid. So this is the obvious clue to tell you that S is actually a metal. Only metal can conduct in solid state. Okay, and then Q cannot conduct in solid but can conduct in liquid. So this one, and it's soluble in water. So this most likely will be ionic. Okay, and then P and R both are poor and then insoluble, but you notice this melting point is, and boiling point is so high, so this one most likely is what? Is giant covalent structure. Okay, and then P, so it will be simple molecular. Alright, so with that then let's look at R and Q. Okay, option A, they say R and Q are macromolecule. No, okay, because for P, right, the melting and boiling point is too low. Okay, for Q, substance Q can conduct electricity because it has free mobile electrons. No, it's because of ions, free mobile ions. Okay, so it's wrong. Substance S, which is a metal, has a structure held by strong electrostatic force of attraction between positive ion and a sea of delocalized electron. Yes, this is your metal. P is a simple molecular structure. Yes, true. It has weak forces of attraction between its atoms. No, it's not between the atoms. What's wrong with this statement? It's because this. It's not atoms. It should be what? Molecules, okay? Because molecular structure. weak force of attraction is correct, but it's between the molecules, so the answer is wrong. Okay, so only answer that makes sense is C. Okay. Okay. Coming back. Just now for this one, I think I have a typo. Covalent. Okay. So it's COVALENT. All right. Okay. Let's carry on. Question 14. So this one should be under your moles. So first thing, what is the mass of iron? Okay, mass of iron in 204 gram of iron 203. Okay, so if you want the mass, so this percentage by mass. Okay, percentage by mass of iron. Okay, so if you look at periodic table, iron is 56. Okay, then there's 2 of it times 2 over the whole MR times 2 plus 3 times 16. 1 oxygen is 16, so times 204. Okay, so just press our calculator. So if you press everything, you should get about 142.5.8 grams. Okay, so the nearest answer will be D. Sometimes the answer might not be the exact one, so we just choose the nearest answer, okay, the best answer. So, okay, so answer is D. Question 15. Which quantity are the same for 1 mole of CO and 1 mole of NO? Okay, so CO 1 mole and then NO is also 1 mole. Okay, take note, both are gases. Okay, both are gases. So molecular mass definitely will be different because molecular mass basically is the MR. So if this you calculate the MR will be, let me see, CO is 12 plus 16, so it's 28. This one is 14 plus 16 will be 30. Okay, so they are different. Number of atoms, yes, it's true because one molecule okay, has 2 atoms. NO also have 2 atoms, so the atoms will be the same. Molecule actually will be the same as well, okay, because both are 1 mole and 1 mole. And of course, since the mole is the same, Avogadro's law states that same mole means what? Same volume. So the volume will be the same as well. So answer is 2, 3, 4. Answer is A. Next, question 16. Which two statements confirm the acidic nature of sulfuric acid? Okay, so we're looking for the true statement for acid. So addition of universal indicator to the solution show that it has a pH value of less than 7. Yes, that is true because acid will be, the pH will be less than 7. Okay, maybe like pH 1 or pH 2. A white precipitate is formed when aqueous barium nitrate is added. Yes, okay, why? Because this is under your QA, under QA. So when you add barium nitrate to sulfuric acid, right, you'll form barium sulfate. Okay, which is your white PPT. Okay, so it's true as well. Statement 3, the solution react with copper 2 oxide to form a blue solution. Yes, okay, because you will form copper sulfate, which is a blue solution. Okay, so it's true. Statement 4, the solution turn anhydrous cobalt 2 chloride from blue to pink. Let me see. There's the presence of water actually. So this is to test for water, okay? Test for water. Okay, so you go from blue to pink. It's true if there's water present, okay? So it seems true. Let me see. Okay, so actually both are true. I mean, all 4 statements are true. But important, you have to come back. What's the acidic nature? So, even though it's a true statement, but you just want to make sure that it's a acidic nature. Okay, so answer will be which one? Number 1. Okay, so you really prove that it's less than 7 acid. Okay, and the next one is what? It's actually statement 3. Okay, you react with copper 2 oxide. The reason is because copper 2 oxide in this case is considered a what? A base. Okay, so if you can react, if the solution can react with a base, right, it means it must be a acidic nature, acidic properties. Okay, so the best answer would be B. Okay, so this is quite tricky. All four statements are true, but if you want acidic nature, only 1 and 3 are the most related to. Okay. Question 17. Which statement best explain why farmer should not add slick lime and ammonium nitrates at the same time? Okay, so this is a classic question because slick lime is calcium hydroxide. So this is under acid bases, your topic, acid and bases. So ammonium nitrate, because these two, if you add them together at the same time, right, they'll react to give you what? Okay, they'll give you calcium nitrate, okay, plus ammonia gas plus water, and then all the ammonia gas will be produced and will escape into the air. Okay, so basically they react with each other, so you shouldn't add them at the same time. So the answer will be, yes, I think this is the best answer. Okay, option D. The slick lime will react with ammonium nitrate to result in a loss of nitrogen. So in the form of what? Ammonia gas. Okay, so the ammonia gas will just escape into the air. So answer will be D. Moving on, question 18. This one will be redox, of course. Okay, so disproportionation reaction, it means what? The same element is actually being oxidized and reduced at the same time. Okay, so which one is not an example? So let's try one by one. Okay, so let's try option A as an example. So I'll focus on bromine. Fluoride is -1, so this will be +1. Then this is -1, this will be +3. Then this will be 0. So from, let me use this one. From +1 to +3 is oxidized. Then from +1 to 0 is reduced. Okay, so this one is a disproportionation. Okay, so this is a disproportionation. Just put a tick. Okay, they're choosing which one is not. Okay, next one, chloride. Okay, chlorine here is 0. Here it will be -1. Then here's +1, -2. So in here, chlorine will be +1 as well. So from 0 to -1 is reduced. Okay, but 0 to +1 is oxidized. Okay, so option B is disproportionation as well. So it's not the answer. Okay, so I have to squeeze in a little bit. Let me zoom in a bit. So let's continue. Maybe I'll try option D. Okay, so option D, or let's try C first. Maybe C will be +1. This is -2, so it's -8. So this one will be +6, +3. Okay, each sulfur will be +3. Okay, so everything add up 0. Okay, then here this +1, this is -2, so sulfur will be +4, and then this +1, so this -2. Okay. Okay, so from +3 to +4 is oxidized, and then from +3 to +2 is reduced. Okay, so this is a disproportionation as well. So the only odd one will be D. Okay, by elimination. Okay, you can try for option D. I think most likely is the oxygen. So the oxygen didn't really change, so that's why that's the answer. Okay, moving on, 19. Aqueous hydrogen peroxide may behave as a OA or RA, okay, oxidizing agent or reducing agent. Hydrogen peroxide, if you want to know the formula, is H2O2. Okay, in which option does hydrogen peroxide behave as an OA, oxidizing agent? So to prove that he's an oxidizing agent, you must react with a reducing agent, which in your syllabus is your potassium iodide. Okay, so it will turn from colorless to brown. Okay, so all this you have to memorize by heart. So answer will be, yep, D. Okay, straight away. Moving on, question 20. So a circuit is set up. Okay, so some coloration appear. Let me see. So starting, you start from copper 2 sulfate, and this is sodium hydroxide. Okay, so which of the following of the color and the position will be observed on the filter paper? Okay, so it should form, most likely they will form copper hydroxide, which is your blue PPT. Okay, so this will move in this direction and this will move in this direction, so they will meet somewhere, ideally in the middle. Okay, but one of them will move a bit faster, so but at least we know it's copper 2 hydroxide, which is your blue PPT. Okay, so this is under QA, blue PPT. And then next, to determine whether it's in region P or region Q, right, then you have to see, because copper 2 plus and this will be OH minus. So how fast they move, right? You must look at the MR. Okay, so copper will be about 56. Okay, hydroxide is about 17. Okay, so this is lighter, so it will travel faster. So most likely they will meet somewhere here. Okay, your hydroxide will actually travel faster. So it will be Q. So answer will be B. Next. Alright, 21, this will be redox, of course. Okay, so for iron, remain unchanged. So basically it's not a redox reaction. Okay, so you can write down the oxidation number of fast one. Okay, so this is 0, this is plus 3, this is plus 2. Okay, so yeah, there's a change. Okay, so there's this one has changed. This is 0, then this plus 3, so this is changed as well. So this is plus 2, this is plus 3, this change as well. So most likely is B. Okay, so B is also a neutralization. Okay, so for those that you all memorize, neutralization is not redox. Okay, so if you can tell it straight away, you know answer straight away will be B. Or worst come to worst, you can always do the longer method by writing the oxidation number for everyone. Okay, B, if you want to know this one, if you reverse cross, this is plus 3, and then here is also plus 3. So plus 3 to plus 3, there's no change. Okay, answer will be B. 22, in the setup, the lamp did not light up. Okay, but once you add distilled water, right, the lamp light up. So means the addition of water causes the what? The charge particle to move. Okay, with water. Okay, your charged particle will move. So important is what? It's because if you look at the diagram, this is actually crystal. So ionic compound in solid state, it will not move. So but once you add water, it becomes aqueous. Okay, from solid it becomes aqueous, then your ions will start to move. Okay, your ions will start to move. So answer should be electrons is not good. No, it's not the reaction, it's just from sodium chloride ions. Yeah, I think that's the best answer, D. Okay, your oppositely charged ions. Okay, so it can be your Na plus or C L minus. Okay, D. Question 23. Okay, so let me see. So this is a long-winded question. Okay, so they say what the same amount of charge deposit 19.5 gram of zinc and then 11 gram of manganese. Okay, so for this you have to write the half ionic equation. So zinc is 2 plus 2 electron give you zinc, which is 19.5 grams. The other one is manganese. Okay, so we don't know what's the charge, so you put it as N. So it's 11 grams. So from here we have to divide by the MR, AR in this case. which is given to you 65 to calculate the mole. All right. So use 19.5 divided by 65. It's a nice number, 0.3 mole. So you do the same thing for manganese as well. So 11 divided by 55. Get 0.2 mole. All right. So coming back. So zinc, if you do your mole ratio, 1 is to 2. So it is 0.3 here. So here will be 0.6 mole. Okay. And take note, because they mentioned, so this will be 0.6 mole as well. Okay, because they're the same amount of charges. So if here is 0.6 mole, here will be 0.6 mole as well. And then finally, let me push out a bit. So the mole ratio between manganese and the electron will be 0.6 to 0.2. So it's 3:1. Okay, so means what? N is actually equals to 3. That's how you do it. So answer will be B. Okay, so this is slightly longer in terms of working. Continue. Question 24. Many properties of an element as compound can be predicted from the position of the element in the periodic table. So which one could not be predicted just from the position? Okay, so answer will be A. Okay, because the number of isotopes, right, there's no way you can tell just by looking at its position in a periodic table. Okay, the rest you can at least determine. Okay, whether the formula is basically the looking at which group it belongs to. Then acidic basic nature, right, whether it's a non-metal or it's a metal. Okay, metal will be the left side of the periodic table, non-metal will be at the right side of the periodic table. Okay, and then D is very similar. 25 question. So property of two group 1 elements. Okay, so you have your lithium and potassium. So which of the following is correct? Okay, so take note, the group lithium, if you look at the periodic table, lithium is higher and then potassium is lower. Okay, so who has a more vigorous reaction? It will be potassium, because reactivity increases down the group. So potassium is lower, so potassium reaction will be more vigorous. And then which one will have a higher melting point? The answer will be lithium. Okay, the melting and boiling point decreases down the group. Okay, melting point decreases down the group. Okay, so answer will be B in this case. Moving on, 26. So now is group 17, your halogens. Which row correctly shows the reason for the property? So let's look at one by one. So bromine displays iodine. Okay, true, because if you look at your periodic table, F, Cl, Br, and iodine. Okay, so this is the most reactive, which is your fluorine. Okay, then it will decrease down the group. So bromine is more reactive than iodine, so it displays, yes, it's true. So iodine is more reactive, no. Okay, this and this should be opposite. Bromine is more reactive than iodine. Okay, so answer is wrong. Going down the group, the boiling point of the halogen increases, yes. So it go from gas, liquid, then solid. Okay, which is true. As molecular size increases, the intermolecular force of attraction becomes stronger. That is true. So most likely this answer. Let's look at C and D just to be sure. Down the group, the oxidizing properties decreases. Okay, so if their oxidizing property decreases, means they want to decrease themselves. They want to increase themselves. Okay, so the oxidation number will increase. So let me see. Going down the group, the oxidation property, they themselves will reduce. Let me see. As the atomic size increases, it is more difficult for the atoms to lose an electron. No, it should be more. It should be easier, I mean. Okay, it should be easier. Okay, so answer is wrong. Down the group, the reactivity decreases. Yes, this is true. As atomic size increases, it is more difficult for the nucleus to attract 7 more. No, he's not trying to attract 7 more. He's trying to attract 1 more, just 1. Okay, so this is wrong. Okay, so the only one that makes sense will be B. Moving on. So noble gases is still under your periodic table. Okay, which of the following statement is wrong for noble gases? They are colorless gases. Okay, it's true. Insoluble in water, yes, true. They are used to provide an inert atmosphere for welding, for welding. This is actually only for argon. So not for all the noble gases, just for argon. So question mark for now. They exist as diatomic. Nope. Okay, this is definitely wrong. They should be what? Monoatomic. Okay. I mean, this is wrong. Okay, so between C and D, I think D is definitely 100% is wrong. So I would choose B then. Okay, so you choose the best answer out of all the answers. Sometimes some answers might be quite close. All right. Question 28. Which one best explain it could be a transition metals? So transition metals, what are the properties? Okay, 5 properties. Very high melting, boiling point, high density, okay, and variable oxidation states, okay, and then can be used as catalysts or their compound, and then they form colored compound. Compound. Okay, so white is definitely wrong. Form chloride with this, yes. So it has 2 plus or 3 plus. Form when as soluble in water, not really useful. The oxides can react with acid. Yeah, but it's not useful. So the best answer I think is B. Okay, because he proved that he has a what? Variable oxidation states. Okay. Moving on, question 29. So the table below shows the reaction that manganese undergo. Okay, manganese. Okay, the formula is Mn. So which row gives the correct arrangement of the metal in the order of increasing reactivity? So this definitely is under metals, reactive series. So he can react with acids. Okay, no reaction with cold water. Okay. So if you look at your ranking, please stop calling me. All right, so this is the full complete reactivity series. So important, there's no reaction with cold water. So cold water, zinc is the cutoff point. So most likely he will be below aluminium or below zinc. Okay, for manganese. And so if you see carefully, so he must be below calcium. Increasing reactivity, so you must end with the most reactive. So this is the most reactive, definitely. And I think, okay, so calcium definitely is the last one. So I think by elimination, I think C must be the only answer. That makes sense. Okay, just let me double check again. Manganese, lead. Yes, yeah, okay. Answer 29 is C. Okay. Question 30, reactive series again. So Y will be between what? Iron and copper. Okay, so in between. So here will be the most reactive. Which method could be used to extract Y from its oxide? Okay, so it's because it's below iron, so you can just do reduction with carbon. Okay, so below iron will be somewhere this part here. Okay, so Y can be one of them, can be lead, it can be copper. It most likely is, for example, is lead. Okay, so your Y can be the lead, for example. So if it's lead, heating the metal oxide with hydrogen, yes. Okay, so and then it's below zinc as well, so you can do metal displacement. So this metal displacement. So this is possible as well. And then electrolysis of its molten metal oxide. Okay, it's a bit overkill, but I mean it's still possible. So you can do it if you want it. So answer will be A. Okay, question 30 answer is A. Moving on, question 31, rate of reaction. Okay. So you have calcium carbonate. Important is what? Excess, excess HCl. So means your calcium carbonate is actually your limiting reactant. Okay, so calcium carbonate used in experiment was more finely divided. So means what? Experiment 1, it will be faster. Okay, so the gradient will be steeper. Okay. Yeah. Okay, but the end point should be the same. Because they didn't mention here, so we are assuming that the mole or the mass of calcium carbonate used will be the same. Okay, will be the same amount. So it means their endpoint must be the same. But experiment 1 must be faster, so this one must be steeper. So answer will be D. Okay. Question 32. Solid X react with solid Y. Solution X react with solid Y to give you a guess. Okay. So which one shows a suitable method for investigating? So under your rate of reaction, okay, either you can check by the loss in mass of solution or the volume of gas produced. So using a gas syringe. Okay, so you need a gas syringe with a stopper. This makes more sense. This one you have the cotton wool, so it doesn't make sense. The gas will just escape. Okay, and then you have a cotton wool. And this one have a balance. Yeah, this one have a balance, but you have a stopper here, so it's like the gas will trap here, so the mass will not really change for this case. Okay, so if you use an electronic balance, you need a cotton wool so that the gas will still escape. Then your mass will slowly decrease. Okay, so it's 2 and 3. 2 and 3 will be C. Question 33. The table shows 4 fractions. Okay, so this is your introduction to organic chem. Okay. So how is the fraction P different from S? P and S. So this one will be somewhere at the bottom of the fractionating column. This one will be somewhere at the top. Okay. So P is collected at the bottom, definitely is wrong. P has larger MR, wrong. P is more flammable, yes, because it has a lower boiling point, so it's more flammable, it's true. It's more viscous, no, it's not more viscous, it's less viscous, so answer will be C for sure. Moving on, 34, okay, propanol, complete oxidation. So your propanol, when it oxidizes, will become what? Propanoic acid. Okay, propanoic acid. So take note, it's 3 carbon, but take note it's C2H5 because there's one more carbon hiding inside the functional group, COH. Okay, so a lot of students will choose this answer. Okay, so take note, there's 1 carbon hiding in a functional group. So answer will be B. The number of carbon will still remain the same, 3 carbon, 3 carbon. Okay, so answer is B. Moving on, question 35. This one will be your cracking process. Okay, ethene it will be C2H4. So the number of carbon must balance. So this one will be C4. You're left with 8 hydrogens. Okay, so C4H8 will be your butene. Okay, ethene family. So it will be ethene, and this is a cracking process. So answer will be B. Moving on, 35. Your esters. Okay, so esters because it contains what? The COO group. Okay, has the odors of bananas. Which set of reagent could be used? So important is what you have to get back to the starting reactants, the alcohol and the carboxylic acid. So this is where you're going to chop it up. Okay, so you chop it out, become C COOH. Okay, you give back the OH to get your ethanol acid. Okay, then this is okay, this is a bit confusing. 1, 2, then 3, 4, 5, then this. So this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbon. Okay, and this is your pentanol. Okay, because there's 5 carbon, and this is your ethanol acid. So if you see carefully, ethanol acid. So this is ethanol acid, and I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbon, and it's alcohol. Yeah, so B is the answer. Moving on. Question 37. So this is organic acid. Okay, which structure is not an isomers? So first thing first, you must calculate how many carbon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 carbon. So it's C5. Okay. C4 H9 COOH. So total there are 10 hydrogen, okay, 2 oxygen and 5 carbon. Okay, so this is the formula. Which one is not an isomers? So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Both. This has 5. This has 5 as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one has 5 as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All have 5. Okay. So which one is not an isomers? So they don't have to belong to the same family. So like this is let me show you. This is a carboxylic acid. This is actually an ester. And this is just CO. And this has a OH. Okay. So let's come back. Which structure is not an isomers? Let me see. So you have to count. Just make sure the numbers tally. This one definitely is isomers. Okay. Seven. Okay, yeah, this is the one that's wrong. Okay, because it should have 10 hydrogen, but this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, okay, so just by counting, the number of atoms must tally. So answer will be D. Question 38. Okay, so it's a new plastic. It's water soluble. It's useful in hospital in keeping soil, laundry, and preventing infection. Okay, so this is the structure of this polyethanol. So what is the monomer unit? So in order to get a monomer unit, so you must chop it up to get back your repeating unit. So if you see carefully, this is where you're going to chop. So this is the one that you start to repeat again and again. Okay, so you can close back to form your double bond. Okay, so this will become your double bond. So answer should be, yeah, this is the one. Okay, C. Okay, you need to have a double bond. This is an addition polymer. Okay, so you need to have your double bond here. 39. Alright, so you have this structure, methyl 2 methyl propanoate. Okay, which one is correct? Okay, so let's see. The repeating unit. Okay, so this is the CC double bond. So you open up the double bond. So it looks something like this. So this is good. This is true. The formation of cement occurs by addition polymerization. Yes, because of the CC double bond. So you undergo addition polymerization. That is true. Number 3. Okay, less energy is needed. Is released in making CC single bond than absorbed in breaking a CC double bond. Let me see. Oh yeah, here's the one. Okay, it's highly exothermic. Okay, so bone cement is formed by polymerization of this. The process is highly exothermic. So they give out, highly exothermic means give out heat to the surrounding. Okay. So less energy is released. Less energy is released. No, it should be more energy is released. Okay, more energy is released. Okay, so it should be more energy because it's exothermic. So this is false. So only 1 and 2 is correct. So answer should be A. 3, 2, 1, start. Okay, question 40. To reduce atmospheric pollution, the waste gases from a coal burning power station pass through your powdered calcium carbonate. Okay, so this one will be under fuel gas desulfurization. Okay, so your calcium carbonate will decompose to give you calcium oxide, which is basic. So in other words, then it will remove only acidic gases, or in other words means what? Non-metal oxides. So under the oxide family, so which one will not be removed? So CO2 is actually acidic oxides. NO is neutral. Phosphorus oxide will be acidic oxides. SO2 will be acidic oxide as well. So A, C and D will be removed. Only B will not be removed because it's neutral oxide. So answer is B. Okay? That's all. Okay. Like, share, subscribe. Bye.